What's up, riders? Kevin Wilson with the BMXPERTS Podcast. Thank you very much for stopping by, and thank you very much for the support, watching my videos, and subscribing to the channel. It's much appreciated, I can assure you that. Today's story I'm going to be sharing is about my only national that I ever raced in the United States. I had just dropped a video about the time that I raced a Mexican national, and actually, after I just made the video, I may have been 17. I really can't remember if I was 16 or 17. If it was 84 or 85. But regardless, I was either 16 or 17 years old when I ran that race, that national in Mexico, and I had to race pros, and I didn't do too bad. If you're interested in that video, I'll attach it to this video, and you can check that out. I apologize for misleading anybody in regards to my age, but rest assured the facts are all the same as they were before. That being said, when I first started doing videos, there was a certain, I call it the Fantastic Four. There was 4 videos that I made probably 3 or 4 years ago, back when I didn't know what I was doing. I was 310 pounds. I was overweight. I was trying to make videos, and I made 4 videos. I actually hired a production company to help me make videos, which that may or may not have been the most prudent use of my money back then, but at that time I had no idea what I was doing or how to make the video. Those 4 videos, I've retold the one about Mexico, going to Mexico and racing at national. This video, I'm going to be retelling the story of my one and only national in the United States when I raced the Burbank Jag World Stars in. Now, I believe it was late 83 or early 84. I believe it was late 83, maybe December. And at this particular time, both my brother and I were beginners. We had just started racing. I was fresh off my shellacking with Dave Wilson and Mike Guittardi at Azusa. Nobody starts at 16 years old, starts racing. So I started when I was 16. They didn't have a class, and I had to race 16 expert. And I was getting pummeled every week at the track by the 16 experts. Meanwhile, my brother did have a class at 14 beginner. He won his first 10 races, became expert, and was smoking everybody. But that being said, I'm going to be retelling the story. And when I initially told the story, it was in 2 parts. I left out a bunch of stuff. I left out a bunch of nice little juicy details to the story. So I'm going to be retelling that story that I told 4 years ago now. And here we go. I had, like I mentioned before, I just mentioned, I was a 16 beginner. Now, I had probably been racing, I don't know, 2 months, maybe a month. And we learned that there was a national coming through Southern California, and it was to be held at the Equestrian Center in Burbank, California. And we begged my father to take us. Now, my father was not against us racing, but he was not the typical track father where he'd stand around and watch and cheer us on and that type of thing. Even though we got into BMX because of my father's influence with motocross and dirt bikes and that type of thing, for some reason he had better things to do than to sit all day at the BMX track with us. So we had to convince him to take us to this track and to take us to this national, and he dropped us off the morning. Now, this is in contention because I'm not exactly sure. Now, I've been told that there was 2 races that weekend. There was a Southern California Classic or something, and then the second day was the National. Now, I don't know if it was a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm 99% sure that I was on Sunday for the National, but apparently there was another race on the same track, the same weekend, the day before, that was a different sanctioned race. I don't know. This is what I've been told by certain people that know a lot about BMX. I'm pretty sure you guys all know his name. But regardless, my father takes us. If it's a Sunday, we showed up on a Sunday morning. And my brother and I both sign up. I signed up 16 beginner. My brother's a 14 beginner. Boom. We get on the track. We probably had 2 or 3 practice laps. But at this time, I mean, there was a lot of riders. It was pretty packed, pretty busy. Now, we had purchased our bikes, all of our stuff, and we were fans of the Main bike shop in Alhambra, California. We wanted to run a Main Bikes jersey, but the owners like to say, dude, you guys are beginners, dude. There's no way I'm going to give you a team jersey to race this national. You guys are beginners. You've only raced for a couple months. Now, so he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll sell you some Main Bikes long sleeve t-shirts. So we both bought white Main Bikes long sleeve t-shirts, and we raced the national in jeans and white t-shirts, the long sleeve ones, and with Main Bikes on them. And we thought we were the shit, man. We were so happy to be able to ride with the Main Bikes shirt rather than some Yamaha jersey or something other stupid jersey that we could have had. We showed up and we signed up, and my brother was obviously, like I just said, my brother was 14 beginner. I was 16 beginner. The first round comes around. My brother gets on the gate, absolutely smokes everybody. He won by like, 10 bike lengths in his first race. 14 beginner. He automatically goes to the semi. Goes to the quarter semi, I believe, or the semi. Either the quarter semi or the semi. He automatically goes. My turn. I get up on the gate. I come out in first place. I get passed in like the third turn. I get a second my first race. So I figured, okay, cool. Next race I'll transfer out and I'll go the next round. I wait around all day long, and my second race comes up, and I get on the gate, and I come out of the gate, and I guess I hadn't tightened my seat clamp enough. And over the first roller jump that they had, my seat turned on me, and I kind of got squirrely over the first roller. The guy in second passed me. I ended up getting another second. Bummed out. We go back. We're sitting there. We're trying to scrounge enough money to get some food, and we're sitting in the stands. And this is when we were beginners, and we didn't know anybody, and we were starstruck. And my brother nudges me in the side. He goes, "Dude, look behind us, man." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Look behind us." And I turn around, and Stu Thompson was sitting like maybe 2 rows behind us. He was like, he was kind of pissed off, actually. He didn't look happy. I don't know what he got at that race, but he did not look happy when we were like, "Oh shit, that's Stu Thompson, man. Dude, go over there and say hi. Dude, ask for a dog." I go, "Hell no, man. He looks like he's pissed off." So we were too scared to go ask for Stu's autograph. And I don't know, he did not look happy that day when we saw him. But he was sitting behind us, and that was our initial brush with a BMX celebrity, was when we were sitting in front of Stu Thompson. While I noticed that while we were there, we had brought a lock to lock our bikes up, but we didn't lock our bikes up till after my second moto. And I thought, you know what, man, maybe I better go down and lock the bikes up. So when I go down, all the bikes were, my bike was leaned up against a fence, kind of by the entrance, kind of where you come into the pavilion type of thing. And I was in a rush, and I just locked my bike up. I locked my bike up to the frame, to the fence, thinking I was doing the right thing, and no one could take my bike. Now, I regret this to this day. I wish I could apologize for this, but when I locked my bike up, I went back and we're chilling out. You had to wait a couple hours for your next race. And right before my third race, I go down, and my bike is locked to another bike. And I go, "What's going on?" I unlock my bike, and then I notice that there's another bike leaned up against my bike with the lock from his bike to my bike to the fence. And I realized that I'd inadvertently locked this guy's bike to my bike. So he couldn't get to his race. I would assume it was his third race. So in retaliation, he actually put his lock through my bike, so I couldn't get to my third race. So I was like, oh my gosh, I felt really bad, and I was going, well, how am I going to get to my third race, man? I don't know what I'm going to do. So my brother says, "Dude, race my bike." So my brother had a PK Ripper at the time, I believe. Yeah, and I had a PK Ripper as well. We both had PK Rippers, but his was up a little smaller than mine. I'm a little taller than he was. But so I got my brother's bike, because my brother didn't have to race. My brother was good until the semis. He didn't have to race. But I showed up on the track. I got on the gate, whatever, and I'm worried about my bike, and my mind's not in the game. And I come out of the gate, and I'm in first place. And then I get passed in the first turn. And then I try to dive bomb in him. There was a step jump, and that in, and then quick turn. And I jumped the step jump, and I cut to the inside, and I washed out, hit over the bars, got really jacked up, actually. The EMTs had to come out and peel me off the track. And it ended up that I got nothing. I didn't even get out of my motos. And I was a pretty good beginner. I was really pissed off. Now, this is what I learned about the term sandbagging, because I know damn well these guys were not beginners. These guys were sandbaggers. They had to have been intermediates that were sandbagging with the beginner class to race, because I was a damn good beginner when I was racing, and there's no way that I shouldn't have made it out of my out of my motos to make it at least into the semi. But at the end of the day, I did not make it out, and my day was done. So I go back up to the stands. I give my brother back his bike. My brother goes to a semi. Now, it could have been a quarter. It could have been a semi. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't remember. I think it was a quarter semi. They were taking 3. So my brother gets out and hole shots it and just kills it. He's like another 10 bike lengths in front of everybody. I'm talking, it's disgusting how bad he was so far in the lead that I was like, dude, oh my gosh, I was so happy. I'm cheering for him. I'm like, yeah, the side of the, side of the track. And the last turn, there was one turn, and then there was a long last straight to go to the finish line. And he washes out in the last turn, falls down, and he gets up, and he's in 3rd place. And he's pushing his bike. He's running with this bike. He's trying to get on the bike. The last qualifying position to go to the main. And he goes to put his foot over his bike, and the guy that was in 4th came by, clipped his bars. He went down and got a 4th, and his day was done too. So neither one of us made it out of. Well, I didn't make it out of my motos. My brother crashed in his semi or his quarter semi. I really can't remember. And that was we were pretty devastated. We went back to try to get my bike, and my bike was still locked to the fence with this other guy's bike. And we couldn't go home. My dad was kind of getting pissed off at us. Hey, I need to go. What's going on with your bike? So my dad went to the track or another parent or somewhere. My dad got a pair of bolt cutters, and he cut this guy's lock. And I took my bike and I kind of wrapped the cable around his bike, but the lock was cut. But I kind of like had to make it look like it was still locked, because I didn't want this guy's bike to get stolen. We left. I left the guy's bike there, kind of half-assed, attached to the fence. We went home, and I put the situation behind me. And probably 2 months later, I'm at Azusa ABA track. I'm sitting on the gate on the Sergeant Hill, bullshitting with all the other guys that were up there. And I was on my reach. I'm sorry. I was on my reach. I was not on a PK Ripper. I was on my reach. This guy was on the gate, and he looks down and he's looking at my rear dropout. And because there wasn't that many people that were riding reaches back then. After I talked to Tim Littlethorpe about reach, he had mentioned that he only sold like maybe less than 500 frames worldwide the whole time that he had the company. And I was one of them. So I had a reach. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had the reach. And this guy was looking at me. He's like, dude, were you at the Burbank National? And I go, yeah, how'd you know? And he goes, dude, you're the one that locked your bike to my bike. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, right? You locked your bike to the fence, right? And you had my bike locked up. Yeah. I go, dude, I'm really sorry, man. It was an accident. And he was really pissed off about that, actually. He was like, dude, you left my bike unlocked. I go, dude, I tried. I'm sorry. I waited as long as I could. And we eventually decided to forgive each other. He forgave me, basically. And I don't remember the gentleman's name. I don't remember who he rode for. I believe he was an expert, for certainly faster than I was. I was a beginner at that point. I may have been an intermediate by the time he found me in Azusa, but I always really felt bad about that. And that was my only national. For some reason, I never made it to another national. The next big race that I did was the War of the Stars in either 84 or 85. To this day, I can't remember. It could have been 86. I don't know. But my memory's foggy, and I can't remember my last race, but I do remember that. I remember that I locked this poor kid's bike up to the fence, and it turns out that he missed his 3rd moto at the Burbank Jag World Championships of BMX in 1983 or 84. This subject has been told before, as I've already said. I will attach the original story to this video in the description so you guys can watch it and see how the progression of my videos have become, and see if it's, if I told the story better this time or if I told it better the first time. But I appreciate everybody stopping by and watching. I appreciate you guys subscribing. Thank you so much. I am working on my website. And it's going to have all kinds of good stuff. I'm working on the merch. I'm working on blog. It's crazy. It's going to be really bitchin'. I'm really proud of it. I just got to take time. I'm working through the accepting payment type of process right now, getting all that taken care of. Got some new designs that you guys haven't seen yet. If you're from Azusa or Pipeline or that area, and you're back in the day, you're definitely going to dig those. You're definitely going to dig that stuff. Thank you very much for coming by. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. And if you'd like to subscribe, please do so. If not, I can't make you. Until next week, the track is closed. And stay tuned for another story. Retelling to make them better. Peace out, everybody. Later.